Hi, welcome to the lab. We are currently in the process of writing a scanner generator API, and in the first video we did an analysis what we actually need to write ourselves. So maybe I should have added that we're writing it from scratch. So now std, C++, STL, standard library, and no other framework, just some basic C API, everything we built ourselves. So we did an analysis what we actually need to start. We already implemented a very basic logging mechanism where you can see the remainings in the file here, where you can just write debug log, pass it arguments that are concatenated, basically print to std out for now. And we also implemented a very basic string view class. Currently it has no real functionality, but we will add it just to stub it out. So just that we don't have to work with const char pointers all the way, everywhere. I mean, not all the way, of course. And today, I left quite a mess this file where I kept our findings, what we actually need to do. And next on our list, we need a mechanism to communicate errors without using exception. And yeah, basically that's what we're gonna implement today. And so there are some concepts from Haskell that I would like to steal. So there is Haskell. Let's actually write some Haskell. Has a thing called maybe. I don't remember. I think nothing and just are the constructors for this type. Haskell has a type called maybe, which differentiates between the absence and the existence of a value. For example, if you have a method that returns a value under some conditions, basically, then you can use this type. I think C++ standard library has std optional, which is very similar. So you either have a value or you don't have a value. And yeah, in Haskell it's called maybe, and it's sometimes also called option. So Scala has a type called option, which basically is the same thing. So in Scala, the constructors are called none and some. So corresponding to nothing and just. But I don't only want to know if something didn't work, but I do also want to know why it didn't. So there is another type which encapsulates this behavior, and this one is called either or either. I don't really know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. I think it depends on whether you want to pronounce it American or British, I guess. And the type differentiates if you have an error or a success value, and the constructors are called left and right. You use the left constructor if you would like to basically construct an error. You use the right constructor if you construct a successful value for this either. So in Haskell, there's the convention that the error, so I don't really know if it is Haskell, but I think it is also, so let me just finish my sentence maybe. So I think in Scala or Haskell, I can't remember exactly, the convention is that the error is always encoded on the left side and the successful value always on the right. So for example, if you would have a function that returns So I have no either type yet. So for example, if you have a method, or do I have an either type? No, I haven't. Yeah, so let's just write it out. So division through 0 is not defined. For example, maybe you would like to divide two integers. So the method is called divide, and you take into integers a and b. So of course I don't have it either type, but you could encapsulate the failure in this signature. So you see, okay, this method does something. In this case, it divides a through b, or divides a by b. And so you can have a result, but you might also have an error, and it is in this case encapsulated by a string. So you typically encapsulate the error on the left side, but this is convention. So, and I want to steal this concept. I want to steal the either type, use it here as well. And option I don't need now, but maybe I will need it later. But yeah, only if I need it. Currently I don't need to. So, but just to say, either is a lot like optional, where you fix the left value. So you could imagine that you're using a option, or let's just call it option for now. Let's fix the left type to void, basically. So we just have a value type, and we let's say either void and t. So basically, you could define an option as this, and either is a kind of a generalization where you don't have error kind. You just know it is successful or it is error value. So just to give a little bit of context. So, but I want to steal the either concept. Use this one. So, but first of all, I would like to clean up the mess I've left behind. So I would like to move this out of my main file. I think it's quite messy, so I will let's just create a new C++ file. Source file is fine, and let's call it draft, I suppose. Don't really care, but and also I just want to put the code there, and yeah, I don't compile it, just to keep it somewhere different. So, and either we will do today. So, and then I will just my list. Let's just move it here too. So just to clean up the main file, so that I can just so let's just let's rename this variable to message. Let's just commit this as a little cleanup commit, so that I can just drop drop the changes that I've done in the main file, so that is always clean. So cleanup main.cpp, fine. So that's what I wanted to do. So what does it still run? Let's just test. Okay, works, perfect. So then let's see. So now I've of course removed the example. Let's just say I would like to do something like this. Was the something like this. Let's just call it safe divide. Let's just keep the example for now. We want to divide A by B, and let's just make it compile, I suppose. So first of all, I would like to add a new class. which I'm going to call either. I think I don't need the C++ file. And now I'm adding it to our CMake, just keep things tidy and consistent. So it is, of course, a template class, which L and R for the left and the right type. So now this should compile. Let's namespace it to my library namespace. Let's say using or either that I don't have to that I have to repeat my namespace specification. So and now let's try to include it and see if our compile error goes away. Yeah, it does. Now we should only get a warning that we don't return a thing. So let's think about how we would like to construct an either value. So first of all, we have to store different kinds of types. So we either have the left value or the right value. So let's produce a small enum class, which I'm going to call side. Let's include type alias, and let's say left, right. So now we remember which side we were constructed from, and now how to store the values. I guess going to store them. So let's introduce a union. I'm calling storage. I don't know if this is the smartest idea. I don't know yet, but I don't care currently. So just can I leave the members without names? I don't know if I like this, but so I'm not going to store it as a union, but I'm going to store it as a U8, a naked array of bytes, which has the size of storage or enum, and I'm also going to align it as line as storage. So this way, we should always test the values aligned. And I'm thinking that this is probably fine. So now I would like to do some constructors. I only want to be able to construct an either think using static helper methods. Yeah, functions. But how do I want to? Do I want to be free function, or do I want member function? So I'm not really sure how I want to do this. I'm just going to experiment. So let's introduce a function called left or either left, and it is templatized by types L and R, of course. And I'm going to take the left value. So so I called it L. Stick with it. So, but now I can't create an instance of either. Can I friend this? Okay, let's just move the function inside of our either. So as a static method on the object. Ooh, so static, and now then I can just call it left. So I would like to have a way to basically a copy method which copies the value, and one which allows you to move the value. So I would like to have those functions. Also, I would like to create an error in the same way. So in this case, I take in the R. In this case, I'm also moving in the R. So I would like to have those overloads. So how do I construct a either? So let's introduce a private constructor that just takes in the side. Or should I also take in the value? So I'm not really sure. So I just take in the side for now and the storage. So I'm not sure where mset comes from. Oh, my IDE is lagging. So just wait a bit, I guess. Okay. You want to IntelliSense? Okay. It doesn't come from stdio. SDLib maybe? No, maybe memory of. Oh. String? I don't know. I don't know the C API. I'm sorry. Let's just Google it. So, mset. C string. I see somewhere. So it in the URL. Ah, also here. Okay, perfect. So then let's include C string, and then we have memset. And I would like to set our storage 0. So this constructor, I would like to please. Or is there a C++ way to fill the array with zeros? Can't you write something like this? Then I don't have wouldn't require mem setting. So let's experiment a bit. So I would like to have a array. Let's just hard code it to something here. Yeah, and then I can just abuse my string view to print it. So let's just construct a string view that let's make our life a little bit easier. Let's use char, since I then can just point to this. Say size. Let's just cheese it. So a string view. Yeah, let's just move everything and just a line break. So now I think the memory is not initialized. Yeah, it doesn't look initialized since there's a little bit garbage left. So, but if I use something like this or like this. Then it should be initialized. So as you see, I have a lot, have some, yeah, I know a little bit of C++, but I have still some room for improvement, of course. So this seems to initialize it. Okay, sure, let's use this then. So just this, I suppose. So, let's experiment further. If I now have a class, let's just call it a struct for testing, and I don't want to build accessor function. So now if I use the test instance, then print this. Is it now initialized? Okay, seems to be initialized. What about now? Okay, it's not initialized. Okay, perfect. But what if I now define a structor? Is it now initialized? Aha, okay. To be, and if I just remove this, okay. This is exactly what I want. So like this, it should be initialized. And now the structure can be explicit. Perfect. So that's how I want it. Okay, sure. So now to create a left value, I can just say the LR, call it result. I extract a left value. Now I can just copy it into storage. So I can copy construct it in storage. Storage. Then I can say new in place. How do you call it? The in place new copy construct, I suppose, like this. And then I can return my result. So in this, I'm going to, let's just copy and paste it to here. In this case, I will just act move. But I think I have to include utility then. Okay, sure. Now also do it for our write. So construct a new either, an empty either, which I'm going to disallow for my client code basically, only for the internally. Yeah. So then result storage R of R. So also in place copy construct the value. Also copy paste the smart constructor for the right side. Okay, on this, here I have to actually move my value. So now I have a way to construct my either. So in my save divide function, I can now use, so if b is 0, so we have a little visitor. Can't see him, but he is here. Hi, do you want to join us? Yes? Oh, sorry. Want to stay here? But I'm programming. You are my favorite interruption. Okay, you want to, okay. you want to sleep here? So just lay down, please. Just lay down. Okay, he wants to stay. So his name is Bernhard, the German name, I guess. But yeah, he wants to keep us company a little bit. So going to program over him. So so division through zero. Basically, I would like to create an arrow in this case. Let's just use a short string, and in this case, I can just return my expected result. So write a through b. Sure. So, but now I don't like that I have to repeat this horrible type. So do something like this, and now it reads a little bit more. Yeah, it's a little bit more readable, I suppose. So now I should be able to create an ether type. So okay, let's remove the test and let's call it. So let's try divide 8 by 4. And let's have a look. So we have a ether, and it is of course a right ether. And here we have our result, I suppose. So a 2, the result is a 2, and this seems to be right. So first 4 bytes are our 2. So it worked. Of course it worked. It is a really simple example. So let's divide our 8 by 0 and see what our ether returns. Enough? Don't you like that I'm programming over you? Okay, but how? Oh, I forgot to return. Derp. So that's why it divided by 0. Yeah, that's why it always divided by 0. Sorry, you probably caught that. I didn't. So now we got a left, which is correct. It's our error case, and we encode the error on the left side, so we get an left, and yeah, so so this is a string view. I can't see it here. Maybe I can I convince it that string view well, can I just interpret as a string view? No, I can't. Can I convince it somehow to? So it has a the left and right thing. So maybe I have to advance by 8 bytes, by 1 byte. We now have a valid. Doesn't look like it. So I think it probably aligns my value. So counts by 8. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. So I wanted to check the value without building return functions. But I'm going to do this anyway. So let's just skip ahead, just build accessor function. So now I would like to do something like this. I would like, of course, let's just produce a function called did you already change your mind? So basically now he sits here. He again sits on my desk, but he doesn't want to show the video. So you want to keep me company? Yeah? Sure. Just stay here. So let's just build some functions for the methods for checking if it was an error. Also, let's mark it no discard. So now I should be able to do right. Does it build? Sure. No discard, no discard. Fine. Okay, now let's build a function. So let's build a function to get the left value out. So left. How can I convince it that I indeed store the left value in there? So of course I would like to do this method should crash. We actually store the right. How do I access this? So this is a storage. So it is just a raw byte array. I think I can just cast it, can't I? So also like an accessor for the right side. Of course, now I have to assert is right, and I have to include this. Can I now access my values? Left, my arrow. I set a breakpoint. Sure. Just continue. Oh, did I press? Oh, segmentation fault. No. No, seems okay. I might press the wrong button in the debugger. Okay, sure. So I get my message out, but now I also would like variant of this to move my value out. Do this. So can I do it same way? Like let's just call it, I don't know, release left. It also checks if it is left, and then it just casts this to a maybe let's just do it in 2 steps. So I just cast it to a reference of type L, then use std move to explicitly move it out. I think I can do this. So and of course, yeah, okay. I also already documented that I require move, that I'm using move. So Does this work now as intended? Oh, of course. I have to do amp release right. So let's actually yoink this code and fix it right. Oh, does this work? I think it will work. So let's test it. I haven't implemented a move constructor and a move assignment operator for this type, but I think it is trivial and the compiler will generate it for me. So let's try to move it out. So I would like to move it out. So my message result release left. So let's have a look at the debugger. I now expect that my result not contain a value anymore. It does. Well, it still contains my value. Hi Bernhard. So maybe because it's a trivial type. Let's actually import, let's test with std string. Let's include std string and let's return a std string. Because std strings are allocated on the heap. And I suspect that releasing it will actually move it. So what do we want? So he's standing right in front of my screen. I can't see anything. No, please not. I wanted to walk over my keyboard. So you are very cute, but you are also very distracting. Sorry. If you like, you can stay here, but please don't stay directly in front of my screen. That would be very great of you. So sorry, I'm just talking to my cat. Discussing with my cat. Okay, so now I still have a basic string and the storage. So I don't know if this is garbage. Don't want to double free. So I'm trying to think of a way how to test this behavior. So let's just abuse this example and let's introduce a class. I'm just going to call test for now. It's a constructor. I just put a string view. Yeah, doesn't have to be fancy, just a test. So let's just use a struct since I don't want to deal with success modifiers. Visibility. Let's just give our thing our text. Just remember what we give it. And let's print it. Work log constructor space text line break, fine. And let's also create a destructor. Oh, of course, this was stupid. Okay, so let's return a test. That test. A test. So I suppose that constructed once. Ah. Not sure. So I haven't implemented a destructor. That's already running the program. I haven't implemented a destructor for either. And now move will happen. What? So it gets destructed twice. Why? So let's. But why? So it is constructed once here. But where does it get destroyed? So first. Yeah, okay. So this one doesn't trigger the move overload. So I think therefore I have to implement move constructor. Or let's just test. Oh, tick. So I don't like that it breaks the line. Okay, so let's try again. So once, of course, is still destructed here. So how can I convince it that it doesn't? What do I have to implement? Later, do I also have to implement move assignment? So or did I do this wrong? So I didn't. So let's just use SCD exchange. Sure. Doesn't work that way, does it? So let's double check. Already Googled it. So how to do this? So in this case, the example is just moving using SCD exchange. Okay. So let's just to be sure, change by an empty string view, by an empty test. the other one. Okay, get it. Okay. Don't I have an empty string view? Let's add an empty constructor. And this one just uses the string view with a null pointer. Okay. So, and then I think I can just, how is it done there? So, if this, so I think he wants to play little cat. I think I have to go play fetch or something. So he actually likes to play fetch. So let's just steal some code, I suppose. Then I can just sign it. Yeah, okay. Also in the string view. So, and also text both, and then I have to return this. Okay, perfect. So I think that should be it. So now he's crying that he actually wants to be no accept. Sure. What do we want? So, it's still running. Can I just stop if I rebuild? So, first, it still destructs here. I didn't expect it. So, and then, of course, also here, but I expected this. I did not expect the first one. Also, just prints destructor. It was destructed, but it was moved. So now it's fine. So because my string view is empty, just prints destructor's base. The error message doesn't get printed since my string view is empty. So it actually works now. So, okay, let's keep the test code. And let's see if I now moved out a value. I don't want to. So now I have to also, so let's put it here. So I have the constructors here, the public constructors. Let's also put in a public destructor. Of course, public. So, but now I can just say if we are left, then I would like to do, can I now? I wonder. So now I have to do something like this again. So it's not perfect, not beautiful, but doink it. So I would like to cast it as a reference to L, and then I just call the destructor, I suppose. In this case, left destructor, also break, don't forget to break, and the right constructor. And I suppose so. Can a default hack happen? I think it can. But yeah, let's just see. This should be it. This should be our destructor. So, okay, now it is right here. What is our text? Our text is null. Here it is our message, the null again. So, okay, now also the either gets destroyed, but we actually moved the value out. So first of all, the destructor of test is called in this method, but it was moved to the either. Then we print okay. Then we move the value out of our either, and it gets destroyed here in our main when the stack frame is destructed, and then our either is destroyed where we already moved the value out, so it just prints the destructor followed by the empty string. So destructor space empty string. So I think this is how I want our either to behave. Of course, maybe just fine for now. I think we are golden. So Bernhard is back. Hi. Do you want to join us today again? Sorry. But he's so cute. Can't be mad. Okay. So, and now, of course, let's remove the stupid debug prints. Yeah, let's remove the whole class test. And let's replace it by a string view again. Do them copy and paste. I don't need to specify the constructor name in this case. So, and of course, in this case, since it's trivially copyable, I don't need to std move it. So I'm not sure. So just trying to figure out. Now I could say, so I get an either result back. If my either is right, if it is left. If it's not right, so now it kind of is a play on correct, as a right as the context with the meaning of correct. If it's not right, so but this only works if you have the convention that the result type is left. Sorry, is right, since then is right means the right type you specified, but also in the way semantic of correct. So I find it quite funny to write not right mean left or incorrect. So if it is not right, then yeah, well, let's just debug print error colon space, and in this case left line break, and let's exit with failure. In the other case, I'm just going to print this, just to test out our silly example a little bit more. So let's divide. Let's just keep this example. Now I would expect the error since I'm dividing by 0. Okay. If I divide by anything else, for example 4, I should get 2. There's 2, and also if I divide by, run it one more time. Okay, also works. Okay, now we have a small, very trivially either that is probably incorrect in some cases, but I don't care. But now, if the problem arises, I will fix it. Yeah, fine. So let's commit it. So what did I produce in the string view? So I think it is called the default constructor, the empty constructor. Let's just double check my C++ terminology. the C++ default constructor. What is this? Default constructor is a constructor called with no arguments. So sure, it's called like all default. Perfect. So introduce default constructor. So this is our main, and then I can just add everything else. I'm not going to add main, I'm actually going to discard the changes. Just going to commit either. So introduce as either. A simple concept for error propagation stolen from Haskell. Okay, sure. So now we have our either. That is everything I wanted to achieve in this video. I think next up we are going to implement our own list type. So C++, the standard library calls it vector. I want to do a similar thing. And then I think we are good to go. So a list, and then we can start with our scanner generator. It seems like we have everything we need for now. Maybe I think we need to implement more types, but those are required basically, let's say, in the first couple of minutes when actually sitting down and writing the API. Yeah, so I think we are getting closer to actually start with our scanner generator library when filling out our draft. So I also have to, let's use this file to tick our progress. We implemented our either. Perfect. So meow. So that's all. That's what I wanted to do in this video. I already said that, but yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.